Jules has one of the most unique mechanics, not only in the Bazaar, but in any game. And we were shown all of the behind the scenes for it this past week. So let's take a look. There was so much big to unpack that I don't know how I'm going to focus on the small. Because each small thing we spot is because of the new big changes. They have a whole bunch of items, some of which we've seen. The glistening effects you'll see on them as I press play. That's for... Those are the premium effects. So you can see this giant sandwich is absolutely glowing. There was a new effect there. What was that for? What was that effect for? Did that like stun him or something? This effect right here. It's like break effect. Like it formed cracks across him. Did it feed? No, that feed is just going up slowly. Didn't do damage either, did it? So there was something there that healed him and fed him, like you said. And then did it stun? Oh, it dazed. Okay. So there was a daze in there as well. I was going to say, it looked like a daze. Honestly, I don't think Jules is going to be that hard, right? Once you can get your head around the concept of Jules, I feel like she's quite a bit easier than she looks. Because realistically, all feed is just another type of damage. It's not like learning how to balance your altitude. Or trying to come up with crazy combos if we're going to have some like fusion shit with Dooley. Or Mac even. Like, it's your blue bar that goes up is effective health that you've removed. Like you see this blue bar here, it's hit this first notch. That means you can now ignore that first notch. She doesn't have it. Or this Pygmalion in this case doesn't have this first notch. So all you have to do is get that red bar down to that notch. And you win. Like where blue or purple meets red, you win. It's like I feel like once you get that concept happy, it's alright. I will agree, because you say she feels like she's hard to play. Some of her other win conditions did look more difficult. Like the Appliance archetype seemed to have a lot of like self-damaging stuff. Like stuff that would burn you and them, stuff that would heal you and them, but then also items that would negate the like bad effect, right? So the oven mitts would stop it from burning you while you are still burning them. Also very potent in a burn meta, with like Vanessa powder keg and stuff like that. Alright, so this is them just showing us how food works. Oh my god, that was a lot of food. Do you see that shoot up? Bam, bam. So it was something that notched it over, but then kept going for a huge amount of feed. Oh, it's got to be the 72 feed thing at the end, right? That probably also triggered two of the other things, maybe. It was zoomed in, so we couldn't really tell. Serving platter. So this is where we discovered that it was now joy instead of feed. Honestly, I love that they're thinking ahead with this change. Like if they're thinking, okay, we can't really name it feed because that's not forward compatible. Let's name it joy. So in the future, if we want to create a musician or a dancer or a painter or anything else that creates joy, we can still use that keyword and not make our game more complex, yet still make it add more variety to the game, make it more enjoyable. That is huge. That is huge and genius and well played to the Bazaar team for that. Beast, we got to see the artwork for this. Now we get to see what it does. So this is a meal. Do ingredients make a meal? We saw that ingredients get added to stuff to buff them up. Does that make a meal? 20 joy and 100 health to both players. Use all of your other food items. Huge. All your other food items, but this isn't food. And neither was serving platter. So maybe food isn't as widespread as I thought with Jules. But yeah, so there's a split between these ones on the right, which are Jules's and are food that will apply joy, and these on the left, which are food not necessarily creating joy. Oh, look at that fire roaring in the background of pizza. 18 seconds for one joy? Okay, never mind. Wait, Octocast? Because you have slices of pizza. You have 8 slices of pizza. So an Octocast joy? I'll take an Octocast joy item. Fuck yes.
In a minute.
That is genius and brilliant. And Jules has like 3 mechanics. Her main one is feed, or joy, as it's now been called. But she also has some like ingredient mechanic that we'll see later. Pizza is a meal. I don't know if this means... I feel like meal was a way for them to split food, right? They had so many things that said, like, use all your food. We saw that with the feast, right? Use all food items. And because they're making Jules cards, like, why wouldn't pizza be a food item? It's obviously food. So maybe it's a meal item, you know? So they've been able to make that split. So they've got food, meal, ingredients, and appliances is basically what Jules has. So we have a knife set. This is one of her few weapons. Every 6 seconds, deal 5 damage. Not bad. When you use an ingredient, this gains +1 damage and advances 3 seconds. Damn, that knife set's pretty good. This is a pretty good item. Compared to like 8 seconds for 1 feed. Or what was it? No, it was 10 seconds for 2 on juice. This isn't bad. Here's the grill. Here is the appliance. So, grill, every 9 seconds, deal 10 burn. When you use the rightmost item, burn 2. Oh, that could be nasty. Imagine just having like an astrolabe over there. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Like you go to Deborah and ask to go see Pygmalion, buy the astrolabe. Is it Pygmalion or is it Vanessa? I always forget which one of those two has astrolabe. But yeah, imagine just having like a super short cooldown thing. Apply speed as well. Like you can clearly see how she has burn builds. I mean, grill by itself. It's a large item, so fair. But damn, that thing. That thing has the potential to go off. Absolutely off. We see access to some freeze with mini fridge, another appliance. Freeze 1 to an enemy item, +1 freeze for each small item you own. Whenever your opponent uses a small item, 2 freeze to it. Okay. So this is good for you to have small items, and bad for them to have small items. It's definitely going to be annoying to the enemy. I don't know how useful this will be. So, right, what's maximum usefulness of this? It takes up 2 slots. We have 10. So we could have 8 extra seconds. So we have 9 seconds of freeze on an item. That's actually kind of annoying. That's at least like 1 full cycle of an item. So that could be pretty bad. But I don't really see mini fridge popping off. Microwave. An appliance. Burn 2 for each item you own. So in this case it was 8. Yeah, because they have 4 items. Your food items charge 25% faster but have -2 feed. I love that. I love the passive on this. Your food items charge 25% faster but have -2 feed. That's great. It's a hot box. Okay. Heal both players for 10. When you use the leftmost item, burn 4. When you use the rightmost item, joy 5. Okay, so that's cute. That helps you do both. Also, look at some of these items. This fucking mixer. But yeah, this is cool. The passive obviously is the thing you get it for. You could get it for one or the other, right? Like 5 joy isn't gonna hurt. Like if you have a slow moving item on the right and you're going for a burn build and you see hotbox instead of grill, then sure. Or you can get a hotbox, a grill, and 2 quick firing items. Suddenly you've got a lot of burn and some joy. And then just barrel into speed. Oh, we get to see the blender. Look how bright that is. Not a fan of citrus, but it looks pretty. 12 seconds deal 20 damage. It's a weapon appliance. When you use the left small item, advance the right small item by 1 second. Okay. So you have, I can see how this sets up, right? You have like small item, hot box, small item. The small items move quickly, fire quickly. Small item blender. No. Small item hotbox, grill, small item blender, small item. Does that work? 1 small item, 2 for hotbox, 3 for grill, 1 small item, 2 for blender, 1 for grill. That's 10. 1 for small item rather. That's perfect. That is the perfect blender grill build. Where you've got 3 small items, all speeding up, making each other faster, triggering tons and tons of burning. There you go. There's an appliance meta for you. Whether or not you ever get that, I don't know. Oh, here you go. This is even better because it has speed on it. Every 11 seconds, gain 10 speed and 7 burn to both players. The tea siphon. We've seen this artwork for a long time, and it's nice to finally see. Other mitts. Remove 5 burn from yourself, and your burns apply 1 extra. Ooh, okay. So if you have other mitts in a way of applying burn regularly, like grill, for example, then they just make it that bit more effective. I don't know how useful these are for a medium slot when there are hero powers that do the same. Some butter. Give adjacent food +1 feed. Yeah, as I was saying, so this is the first example of an ingredient. Eggs. Here we go. This is the one he merged, right? Every 6 seconds, both players gain +1 strength. Be careful with that. Adjacent food has +1 feed for each strength the opponent has. Ooh, okay. Weapon, deal 11 damage and 2 seconds of daze every 7 seconds. If you own an ingredient, this does double damage. What the fuck? What? Wait, is this doubled? It can't be doubled because it's 11. Do we have any strength, maybe? No. Is this 11 base? Surely not. Surely they've done something to this. Something in this game has made this hit harder. It's 11 damage in 2 days every 7 seconds? Which can then double the damage? No. There's no way. Pancakes, 23. Yeah, okay. This is like late in the game. They've done loads of shit. When you use this, increase the cooldown by 2 seconds. Maybe not then. Maybe pancakes do a lot of joy at the beginning. Because it hits once, 5 seconds, then it's 7, then it's 9, 11. Like this thing gets longer and longer and longer. Spicy pepper. When you use an adjacent item, apply 2 burn. Fair enough. So, Jules doesn't have any innate fusion mechanic. Ingredients are basically a buffing archetype for her meals. And if you have some of her ingredients along with some of her meals, they work well together. That at least makes it a little more fair between her and some of the other classes. And don't forget, we are potentially getting fusion as a mechanic anyway. Whether or not it's for all classes or just 1 or 2. Noodle did kind of spoil that fusion will be coming in. It sounded like for all classes to try and like make people's boards thin up. I feel like I could pick up Jules day 1 because previously I was like, okay, I will pick up Pygmalion or Vanessa because that'll be easier to teach the world how to play the Bazaar because those classes are more simple. You know, their mechanic is Vanessa has a lot of weapons that trigger off of each other and she has to like manage her ammo. Pygmalion builds health. That's kind of his mechanic. I guess Pygmalion's mechanic is he doesn't have a lot of ways to easily kill the enemy, but he does, so I don't know. Pygmalion is probably the pick, right? Pygmalion is the simplest Bazaar character so far. So I figured I would just pick him as my first and be able to show the world the Bazaar through the eyes of like the vanilla Bazaar experience, you know? Which, actually, let me just add on to that. This is the base release of the game, and one of its characters is the vanilla character, which you can't avoid. You have to have some sort of base point. But there are so many games that I've seen released over the years that have like a class system or whatever, and their like entire release set is vanilla. Or, you know, there are at least a handful of very vanilla classes to pick, maybe one for each set or color or whatever. But that doesn't exist for the Bazaar. The Bazaar has a vanilla class, it's Pygmalion. And then you can scale up a little bit and go to Vanessa if you want. You can scale up a little bit more and go to Jules. But they're still vastly different. We get to play different things from day 1. There's only one vanilla class. They spent a lot of time on all of them, and you can tell that. If you like this video, then be sure to check out our video on Stell's mechanic. One of the harder in the spectrum, but one you certainly need to look up just over here.